everybody, I'm Taylor from Tailored Expressions. No matter how well I seem to plan for the holidays, each year I find myself in a pinch for at least one Christmas card. So today I wanted to show you a quick and cute Christmas card idea for the times when you need one fast. This Make It Merry card combines a couple stamp sets that are really oldies but goodies in my book, specifically the Doodle Alphabet and Very Merry stamp sets. Both sets are full-size and together they offer tons of options for making quick cards like the one we're making today. So let's get started. So I'm going to start with the 3 colors of cardstock that we're using on this card, and we're going to cut those to the size we need. So we'll start with Sugar Cube, and that will be 3 3/4 by 5. And then we have our Oreo piece of cardstock that will be 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And then I have my A2 card base, which I have already cut in half, just 8.5 by 11, cut the vertical way at 4 1/4. We're going to fold that in half and set it aside. So then we're going to take our piece of Sugar Cube cardstock and we're going to stamp the letters from the Doodle Alphabet to spell out the word Merry. Now we want to do that about 1/3 of the way up from the bottom of this white piece of cardstock. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. The great thing about these doodle letters is that you don't have to worry about getting them too perfect. Just because of the whimsical nature of the illustrations, I think they are very forgiving as far as perfection goes. So I'm just going to roughly stamp those across here. And then while we have our ink out, I'm going to stamp the words Make It up at the top left with the black ink here. And then I'm going to grab my lime pastel chalk ink along with the holly leaves. And we're going to stamp the holly leaf twice, kind of at the top right here. Now just angle that slightly and then angle it again in the opposite direction. You want them to overlap just a little bit. Don't worry about where they overlap because we're going to end up covering up that part with those doodlebug sprinkles that we use for holly berries. So before I do that, I'm going to use Copic markers to color the letters of the word Merry here. I'm using for my red R24. I always start with the lightest color with my Copics, and then I will shade with R27, which is a little bit darker. Now you can of course use other coloring mediums. You could try watercolor or colored pencils, whatever your favorite thing is. So once I lay down that initial color, I'm just going to pick up the darker shading color. You don't need a ton of shadowing on these just because they are small spaces. Then I'm going to start with my green, which is YG13, the lighter color, and then for the shading, YG17. And then to finish it off, I have the C1 marker. I'm just going to add a little bit of shading beneath those lines, so maybe they look like they're standing up on the ground. And then we're going to use our doodlebug sprinkles for the holly berries. Go ahead and I like to do 3 of them. So I choose a couple of larger ones and a smaller one for a little variation in size. So now all we need to do is adhere the open scallop border right below the word Merry. I'm just going to do that with A little bit of tape runner. You'll have more border than you need, so we're just gonna kind of center that where it looks good and cut off the excess with scissors. Then this panel gets adhered to our Oreo piece of cardstock that we cut earlier. Should give just a nice little border of black around the outside. And then I adhered the black panel with foam tape. I think it gives it just a little bit of extra dimension. So I'm going to cut a few pieces off of our 1/16 inch foam tape roll and put those down. And we just remove the backing and adhere it down to our card base. Center it on there, just like that. So there you have it. Hopefully this cute, quick card idea will get you out of a pinch this holiday season. To find all of the supplies I used on this card, click on the links in the video description and then head over to the Tailored Expressions web store. Thanks for stopping by. Happy stamping!